Sometimes when I go back and I watch my older videos, I realize that it's been a while since I've done an update video, and this is one of those instances. I did a series a while ago called Pattern Collecting, where I basically talk about collecting multiple same brand firearms or multiple different types of firearms, like, for instance, revolvers or pump-action shotguns. So I wanted to do an update video on my charter arms collection and my pattern collecting of charter arms because it's been a while since I did that. So I have a few new ones that I've gathered over the last couple of years since my last video. You can see that most of these are Stratford, Connecticut models, and the reason being, those are really my favorite models. I would absolutely buy a Bridgeport, Connecticut model, which was the first generation, if I find one. But for the most part, the ones that I've seen most in the stores are the Stratford, Connecticut models. And those were manufactured from about 1973 up until 1991. And the actual dates and quantities of guns manufactured over those particular years are a little bit hard to find. There is some information online that has some general range of dates, and that's kind of what I used to look up the year of manufacture on these particular firearms. Now, starting off here on the left, I have an undercover 38 Special. I have an undercover 32 Smith & Wesson Long, another undercover 38 Special, a stainless undercover 38 Special, a stainless Pathfinder 22 with a 3-inch barrel, another 38 Special undercover. Then I have a Bulldog, which is a more modern manufacturer, and 44 Special, a Pathfinder Snub-Nose 22, and a Target Pathfinder 22. And the last three on this list are more modern. So starting out with the oldest of my Charter Arms undercovers, this one was the one that I had purchased and done a kind of more undercover kit on it, or an upgrade. I had bobbed the hammer on this and put very smooth grips on it and basically just cleaned it up. This one is manufactured in approximately 1977, and I think this was actually the first Charter Arms undercover that I ever purchased. And again, it was a little bit worse for the wear, so I didn't mind doing some undercover upgrades and bobbing the hammer. This little beauty, this undercover 32, is a 32 Smith & Wesson Long. This particular one, when I purchased it, looked like it might have only been shot one time. The bluing is excellent. There is no wear on it anywhere. And this was built in approximately 1981. So that's an exceptional quality one. Next on the list is another undercover 38 that I have, and this one is in pretty good condition as well. If I recall correctly, this is the one I bought off a buddy of mine that was new old stock still in the original box. I've only shot this one time. I think I put like 25 rounds through it. It's in exceptional condition as well, and this one was manufactured in approximately 1983. Then moving on to my stainless steel undercover 38 Special. I've only seen this one in a store in all the times that I've looked. Occasionally I'll see them online. They only made these stainless steel models for a few years when they were at Stratford, Connecticut. This one is approximately made in 1984. It has the nice checkering on the wood grips on this and excellent grain on that wood. This is one of my all-time favorites, and it is a steel frame, not an aluminum. Then moving on to my Pathfinder 22. This is another one that you don't see this older Stratford, Connecticut version in 22 in stainless steel very often. This one I just happened upon, and I could not pass it up. One of the other unique things about this is that it has a black colored trigger. This one was made in 1984 as well, and it's just an exceptional gun. It has adjustable rear sights on it, and it has a pretty tall front sight as well. So this is one of my absolute favorites out of my Charter Arms collection. Moving on, I have another 38 Special undercover, and this particular one has a factory bobbed hammer on it. I bought that aftermarket and put it on myself. I do still have the original hammer, but I just figured since I have so many 38 Special undercovers, I thought it would be cool to update this one. And this one was made in approximately 1987. It's also in very good condition, and I've shot this one quite a bit. Moving on to my Bulldog in 44 Special. I've done quite a few videos on this one and a previous one that I had. This one is a much newer manufacturer made in Shelton, Connecticut, and I've done a couple of videos on this one upgrading to that bobbed hammer and putting the wood grips on it. This one is approximately made in 2015, And if you look at the newer serial numbers, the first two digits always tell you the year of manufacture. So this one is 15 dash, meaning it was made in 2015. Moving on to my snub nose Pathfinder 22. This one is the one that I purchased last year, and it was not in particularly great shape. You can see again there that the front sight actually looks like it was ground down, but the more I look at it, I think that was done at the factory. And this one I've swapped out the cylinder. This one is year of manufacture 2019. And again, you can see that by that 19 dash in the serial number. And this one I also upgraded to a wood grip. Those are the Charter Arms Target grips. And then last but not least, my Target Pathfinder 22 in the 4.2 inch barrel. This is the newest one that I have. This was manufactured in approximately 2022. And you can see I've mentioned it before, the front sight on this one is a little bit crooked. Has adjustable rear sights. This one has an 8-shot cylinder. Again, you can see in the serial number 22F, which is year of manufacture 2022. You can see the laser engraving on the name, and you can see that the finish on this is different than all the other ones that I have. And this one, again, originally came with a polymer frame, so I updated it to an aluminum frame to make it a little bit more sturdy and, again, a little more appealing to me. So that's an update on my pattern collecting of all of my Charter Arms firearms. I've said it before, they're not really the highest quality firearms, but to me the appeal to these is they're very budget friendly, they're reliable, they're fairly accurate for what they are, they're super lightweight, they're super concealable, and I just like the fact that they're still made in Connecticut, which is not a very gun-friendly state. So anytime you can buy a gun that supports the cause in a state where it's not really very well accepted, makes me happy, and I really appreciate you guys checking out my channel and the Charter Arms collection. I'm always keeping my eyes out for these, more on the older models than the modern ones. There are some years that you should definitely avoid. There was the Charco years when it was CHARCO on the barrel, and also the Charter 2000 years. I would try to avoid those at all cost. These particular ones, the new ones, seem to be a little bit better. Their quality control's coming up, and I especially appreciate the older Bridgeport and Stratford, Connecticut ones. If I ever find more, I always try to pick them up.